Hey everybody, ready for another deep dive?
Always.
Awesome. So today we're looking at boldness and specifically how it relates to power and success.
Okay.
This is from Robert Greene's The 48 Laws of Power,
Oh, yeah, I know that one.
Law 28 to be exact.
Right.
And it's really fascinating stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's not just about uh, those big dramatic moves.
Okay.
It's more about a way of approaching everything,
I see.
like everyday life.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
Oh.
And Greene gives some really intriguing examples like Hernan Cortez
Fortese.
burning his ships when he gets to Mexico,
Wow.
or Elon Musk and his companies.
Like Tesla and SpaceX, right?
Yeah. So it's pretty wild stuff.
Sounds like it.
So to start off, what exactly do we mean by boldness here?
Well, it's not just recklessness.
No, of course not.
It's more about decisive action,
Okay.
taking calculated risks and projecting confidence.
So it's strategic.
Definitely strategic.
And Greene's argument is that it can really create this momentum.
Oh, interesting.
It inspires trust, and it can even intimidate rivals.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So let's go back to that Cortez example for a second.
Okay.
The guy burns his ships
Right when they arrive.
when they arrive in Mexico. That's crazy.
Right.
What was he thinking?
Well, think about it.
Okay.
It was a bold move.
It really was.
No going back.
No escape route.
No escape route. Exactly. And that unified his men like you wouldn't believe.
Under a common goal.
Exactly.
To conquer or die.
Basically.
Wow.
But more importantly, think about the psychological impact on the Aztecs.
The Aztecs, oh my gosh, yeah.
Imagine you see these foreigners arrive,
Right.
and their leader just torches their only way out.
Yikes.
That's a powerful message.
It is a very powerful message.
Yeah.
What kind of message, though? Like strength?
Strength, definitely.
I mean, maybe a little of both.
Both. Yeah.
Which is what makes it so brilliant.
It creates uncertainty, doubt.
Makes you wonder.
Is this guy incredibly confident
Right.
or completely insane?
Yeah.
And that unpredictability,
Oh, I see.
that can be a huge
Well,
weapon.
so boldness can be a psychological tactic,
Yeah,
almost as much as a physical one.
absolutely.
Huh. That's so interesting.
It is.
And Greene brings it all the way to the present.
Right.
With Elon Musk
Right.
and companies like Tesla, SpaceX.
Those were met with so much skepticism at first,
Oh, I bet.
but Musk just kept pushing forward.
Yeah, being bold.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what attracted attention resources.
And ultimately revolutionized those industries.
Totally.
Yeah. I can see how his audacity would signal belief,
Right.
like such strong belief in his own vision that other people had to buy in.
Yeah. It's projecting that certainty even when things are uncertain. It inspires trust. People are drawn to that confidence.
Okay, but isn't there a difference between
Like what? The boldness to start a company and the boldness to stand up to a bully.
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean.
Those seem different.
I get it. They're different situations.
Right.
But the core principle's the same.
Okay.
Decisive action, driven by confidence.
Uh-huh.
But how it looks, how it manifests,
Yeah.
that can change.
So starting a company that's calculated risk-taking,
Yeah.
visionary thinking,
Right.
and standing up to a bully,
Right.
well, that's moral courage,
Exactly.
setting boundaries.
Yeah.
So how do we actually cultivate this boldness then?
You want to be bolder.
Who doesn't, right?
Well, Greene has some steps for us.
He does.
Yeah. The first one is about overcoming fear.
Fear, oh boy.
But it's not about ignoring it.
Okay, so what then?
It's about techniques. Like visualizing success.
Visualizing.
Yeah. Like athletes do.
Before a big competition.
Exactly.
Okay.
You focus on those potential positive outcomes.
I see.
So you shift your mindset.
From fear to opportunity.
Yeah. So it's about reframing how we view the challenge.
Right.
Instead of dwelling on what could go wrong.
Right.
You're basically training your mind to anticipate the rewards.
That's it.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it's not all just mindset either.
There's more.
Greene also really emphasizes commitment.
Oh.
No half-hearted attempts.
You got to go all in.
Exactly. Once you decide to act boldly, you go all in.
I can see that.
That dedication, it's contagious.
Yeah.
It inspires others.
So that I know this will work. Energy.
Yes.
That comes from full commitment.
You got it.
But Greene doesn't just talk about starting companies or bullies.
Yo, he doesn't.
What about applying this boldness to, everyday life?
Oh, he definitely does.
He does.
Yeah. He gives some pretty fascinating examples.
Okay, like what?
Well, think about negotiations.
Okay.
Instead of just accepting the first offer,
Right.
What if you countered with something bolder?
Like a counteroffer.
A bold counteroffer.
Okay, but wouldn't that risk offending the other person?
Possible.
Yeah.
But it's about knowing your worth.
Right.
You confidently present your value,
Okay.
what you want.
And that's bold.
That's boldness, and it commands respect.
So it's assertive, but not aggressive.
Exactly.
Okay.
You shift the dynamic without, like, burning bridges.
I see.
So what about leadership, then?
Leadership? Oh, yeah.
Imagine a leader who's always hesitating.
Second-guessing every decision.
Aye. Right, would you feel inspired?
Not really, no.
Exactly. But a leader who's decisive,
Even when things are uncertain.
that projects boldness.
And that can be motivating.
Very motivating.
Yeah, it builds trust.
Trust.
Creates momentum.
Yeah, like they know where they're going.
Even if the path is unclear.
Right.
That makes a lot of sense.
And this isn't just for CEOs or anything.
Yeah.
Think about leading a project at work,
Oh.
a community event,
Right.
even a family road trip,
Yeah.
making decisions, being confident, inspiring others.
That's all boldness.
It is.
Huh. You know, this is making me think.
About.
There was this one time, it was a few years ago, and I was in this situation. And looking back, I realized I was actually being bold.
You were.
Yeah, even though it felt scary at the time.
I think that happens a lot.
It does.
Yeah. Boldness often comes when we're outside our comfort zones.
That's true.
We don't always realize it in the moment.
No.
Those leaps of faith,
They can be transformative.
they really can.
So we've talked about negotiations, leadership.
Yeah.
What about personal relationships?
Oh, Greene talks about that too.
He does.
It's not just about like grand romantic gestures.
Although those can be nice,
They can be.
but it can be simpler.
Yeah, like expressing your feelings honestly,
Being honest.
standing up for what you believe in.
Boundaries.
Yeah, or trying new things together.
Stepping out of your comfort zone as a couple.
Exactly.
But that takes courage.
It does.
You risk rejection or disagreement.
That's true.
So being vulnerable, putting yourself out there.
That's a powerful form of boldness. It strengthens relationships.
Makes them deeper.
It does.
Okay, so this is all great.
Right.
But what about the opposite?
The opposite.
Yeah, like what happens when we're not bold?
When we let fear control us.
Right. What are the consequences?
Well, Greene has these two examples.
Okay.
Napoleon Bonaparte,
The French Emperor,
yeah, and his nephew,
Napoleon III.
Napoleon III.
Okay.
One was bold, decisive.
Bonaparte.
Yeah, he conquered huge parts of Europe.
Wow.
His nephew, though he was hesitant,
Indecisive.
and he led France to defeat.
It's like the two sides of the coin.
Exactly.
Boldness versus timidity.
Yeah, it makes you wonder.
What if Napoleon III had been more daring?
Right.
History could be so different.
Totally. And then there's Blockbuster.
Blockbuster, the video rental place.
Yeah, they clung to their old ways.
While Netflix was changing everything.
They were afraid to adapt.
And they missed out.
They did.
It's a good reminder.
That boldness is important.
For survival, even.
Yeah, especially in a changing world.
But it can't just be about leaping before you look.
No, you need strategy.
Otherwise, it's just recklessness.
Greene talks about that balance.
He does.
Yeah. Boldness and strategy.
Okay.
He says, don't just blindly leap.
You got to prepare.
Preparation, foresight.
So have a plan.
Even a flexible one.
That makes sense?
Before you do something bold,
Yeah.
ask yourself,
Okay, what should I ask?
what are the rewards?
Okay.
The risks?
Mm-hmm.
How can I minimize those risks?
So assess everything.
Right? Then your boldness is more strategic.
You're not just hoping for the best.
Exactly.
But what about people who aren't naturally bold?
Good question.
Like, how do we cultivate that?
Practice.
Practice.
Yeah, boldness is like a muscle.
You build it up.
You got it.
So don't wait for a big moment.
No.
Just start small.
Small acts of courage.
Every day.
Exactly.
Like what?
Speak up in a meeting. Take on a new project. Finally start that hobby.
I like that.
Little steps.
Makes it less intimidating.
It does.
But how do we know which opportunities to be bold in?
That's where self-awareness comes in.
Self-awareness.
Think about your values,
Okay.
your goals, your passions.
Those are the places to start.
Exactly.
So be true to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Let your passions guide you.
But I'm curious,
Hmm?
the source material focuses on power.
Right. Boldness for power.
So what about those of us?
Who aren't trying to rule the world.
Yeah, how does this apply to us? Well, that's a great question.
Yeah, like is Greene saying we all need to be like ruthless conquerors?
No, not at all.
Okay, good.
It's about how he defines power.
Oh, how so?
He's not just talking about dominating others.
Mm-hmm.
It's more about personal agency.
Okay.
Like having control over your own life.
So shaping your destiny.
Exactly.
So it's less about power over other people,
Right.
and more about your own inner power.
Yes. Boldness in this sense, it's about having the courage to define your own path.
To like pursue your passion.
Yeah, and create the life you want.
Regardless of what other people think or expect. That's a much more relatable way to look at it.
It is.
It takes boldness out of like the boardroom.
Or the battlefield.
And brings it into our everyday lives.
That's where it really shines.
Yeah, it becomes about having the audacity to be yourself.
To embrace your talents.
Your quirks, even.
Yes. Express yourself authentically.
So boldness becomes a form of self-expression.
It can be.
A way to break free from those limitations.
Those beliefs and norms that hold us back.
Yeah, it's liberating.
It is.
It lets us be creative, take risks, discover new things.
Exactly.
This has been such a great conversation.
It has.
We've covered so much about boldness.
We have.
From history to modern life and everything in between.
Yeah.
As we wrap up this deep dive,
Okay.
what's the key takeaway you want our listeners to remember?
I think the most important thing is this. Boldness, it's not something you're just born with.
You can learn it.
It's a muscle you can strengthen.
With practice.
With practice, exactly. And it's a choice.
A choice we make every day.
Even in small ways.
It's those little moments.
Yeah, when we choose courage over comfort.
Authenticity over conformity.
Those choices, they add up.
They can change our lives.
They really can. And when we're bolder,
yeah,
we not only shape our own lives,
but we inspire others too.
We do.
So well said. And to all our listeners out there,
yeah,
as you go about your day, ask yourself.
Ask yourself.
How will I be bold today?
What small step can you take?
To push past your comfort zone.
Embrace your power.
That's it for this deep dive, folks.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
Remember, fortune favors the bold. Stay curious, stay engaged.
And keep diving deep.
See you next time.